Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. Tonight, y'all, we have Susann Taylor Shier, who's the founder of Soul Mastery, and she's a highly established, internationally acclaimed author, spiritual counselor, intuitive healer, medium, and conscious channel. And Susan is just really someone with her finger on the pulse
Mm,
and really guided by such a deep embodied connection
mm,
into the energy that is giving us a mirroring aspect into what we have stepped into, what we're carrying forward, how we're creating with that, and really allowing us to live an activated potential that's not just in service to us, but in the service to those that we love as well. And so it's going to be a beautiful conversation today about liberating your heart fire for greater contribution. And we're going to get into the bullet points, what we're going to discuss, but I'm going to let Susan guide that today
mm.
because I just love her flow and the way that she pieces all of the energy together for those that are tuning in live and on the replay. And it is going to be an amazingly liberating call. The special offer is incredible. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Y'all are going to want to check that out without question. But with that introduction, Susan, I just want to welcome you back to BTO and thank you for being here.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. This girl is on fire, so look out.
Well, tell us more about the fire. What is stimulating that, and then what's coming through you and your guides, and how you're sharing with
Yeah,
community.
for sure. Well, I think part of it is the Lion's Gate that we're in right now, definitely. And it's, some call, there was the Feast of Mary Magdalene, and then what some call the um, 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 birthday of the galactic, the anniversary of the galactic birthing. I mean, all sorts of terms are
Mm,
coming out of what's going on right now. And I'm just on fire with lots of dimensions. My own experience. I'll talk about my recent experience, and also with how we really are moving out of just trying to get aligned and just trying to get on top of things and just trying to get clear and clearing stuff to really activating that sense of contribution. How can I be more of a contribution? How can I move more from my creative center and let my heart really be on fire and not just, bringing peace to the world? Because we've done a lot of for how long? Bringing peace to the world. But now there's an active, almost like an active volcano, ha ha ha, coming
mm,
up that is like, what are you going to do with that peace? What are you going to not do, but create with that peace? And how are you going to start interacting with people in a whole new way so that this whole idea of oneness starts to get activated into real time embodied being with people in co-creative ways. And that's why I love being in this community, because I get to, you were talking about, what I'm connected to. Well, today I get to be connected to you, all the guides of the community in the community of those in the community and those listening to the replay. I mean, we are all one big, beautiful kaleidoscope that wants to come through. And there's just nothing like community. So thank you, John, for keeping this going.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. This isn't part of the questions that you provided to us as far as direction to go, but I'd love for you to thread together how it is that your work with the Akashic ties into how you're interpreting and this intelligence and then offering it to others.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. Well said, too. You always say things so well. Okay. So I have been working with people in soul mastery for over 30 years,
Mm,
guiding them to their soul gifts and strengths and purposes. And we do guided meditation journeys to their home world. I mean, that is so fun
mm,
and so revealing and so opening. So you get to experience directly what you are about, what your blueprint is, what your gifts are, and what this world that you came from or are still part of has to bring you, and then clearing the challenges that just fall away, basically, that have kept you in that place of separation from all that you are. So there's all of that. Now I'm going to remember how you put the, the next part. And then once you are working from a level of your soul, right? You get to be guided by your soul. For me, my intuition doesn't come from one channel or a certain amount of guides. It's from anything and everything that my soul is connected to that can come in and start to ignite my heart, ignite my embodiment, and feel as though I'm living from a soulful place, which is joy, fun, loving life. And isn't that really the blueprint? To be in love with life itself. I've said that before, and it just is. And and then the contribution is from a soul guided place. And you don't have to question, let's see, should I be a healer? Should I be a this or that? Is this good enough? Is that what I should be doing? You're just contributing your soul's fulfillment, which is fulfillment for you and all that you touch. Yeah.
Beautiful. I so appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
So let's get into this heart fire. And I've noticed and I've experienced it personally that there's as the walking forward and becoming more energetically open, if you will, and understanding my alignment, not seeking it, which is something that I know you're going to talk about more deeply. For me, it's more about feeling when I'm not aligned than trying to get into alignment. It's rather than chasing, I can tell when I'm a little off,
Mhm.
or a lot off sometimes. But what happens in that also is that there's a lot of different opportunities presented. There's overstimulation that comes in. And part of what wobbles me, it starts to get the overwhelm, I think, subconsciously turns to worry, and it takes us out
Yeah.
of resonance. And I'd love it if
Yeah.
you can talk more about how it is that we can tune into that, how we can tell when our wanting to be in a particular vibration, if we can call it that love vibration, when it shifts into worry, and what we can do to really catch ourselves in it so that we can get back into
Great.
into
Yeah.
the alignment that we know is
Yes.
possible.
Yes. So we'll talk about it in various layers next. I mean, down a few minutes from now, we'll talk about it as it relates to other people. But to start with, getting back into that heart alignment is what I would call going into a deeper place in our heart.
Hmm.
So we're in fear, and that's an emotional heart. And that's, that overly empathic nature, people pleasing nature, all of that is because we're outside of ourselves, right? And we don't want to be, but we haven't known how to trust and know that our deeper heart is there for us and that there's something there for us. And that's where the soul comes in and our connection that is solid and in the guided meditation we'll do at the, I believe it should be at the end
Hmm.
today, we'll get to do this, have this experience. So you can really feel what it is to hold a brave heart and a strong heart. And that strong heart starts with a heart that is open to receive and fluid and beautiful and sensitive, but it has to be also surrounded by an anchored place that honors the heart, that you feel that you honor this deeper heart and you have a place that holds that. Whether you have a metaphor or symbol that you carry in your heart that says, when I have, I don't know, butterfly wings in my heart, I can go and feel that and know that butterfly wing. I'm just made that up, I promise. Butterfly wing in my heart, I'm in my heart. There's a knowing, that's the representation, the symbol, the metaphor for being in my heart. And out of my heart, I'm out here being flying away, but my butterfly solid wings that are like not going anywhere
Hmm.
represent that. So learning how to carry that, which is the truth of our heart, and letting it be a flame within our heart so it can be fueled all the time, like a fire that's flowing. Yeah.
Mm. Fueling the fire that's going, which takes us to the liberated heart fire. Oh,
Yes, yes,
what would you
exactly.
just, what is the heart fire? How would you, what's that vision that you see that you're naming it this?
Yeah, okay, great. So it really is a vision of having a brave heart that is always available. I talk a little bit about yes, more yeses than yes buts, right? The
Mm,
yes but is we jump out of ourselves, go into our mind and go, I don't know, I'm a little afraid. So let me go into to my story of recent, but we go into this afraid thing. This deeper soul thing says, yes, that is true for me, right? Probably when you went to Egypt, it was a big yes. And then these yes buts come in and these little things that come in when we're stepping into a new place in ourselves. But I just got back from Iceland riding horses as part of a retreat. The
mm,
Icelandic horses are incredible beings of love and calm and intelligence. And I was drawn to do that. A friend of mine runs something called Women's Quest and felt like it was time to do that. Well, I signed up many months ago, and you can imagine how many times between then and when it happened a few weeks ago, I went, I don't know, my physical body, I don't know, I have all these reasons, my age, and I don't know. And when we have those little things come up, which are the fears, what do we have to draw on that keeps us in that deeper place that says, and I hear you, and this is my deeper heart fire that is going to come forth. And I know in a deeper place in myself that I will be changed forever and in a stronger, more courageous place as it relates to living my life than ever. And that feeling I would hold over and over again when the yes buts came in. I'm like, okay, which one am I going to go with? Right? Which one am I going to go with? And be able to say to the fear, I don't need you anymore. I
mm,
don't need you anymore, right? Because that's what we just have to do. We can't go, oh my God, the fear, is it telling me I should wait? It's not my time. We come up with all these excuses instead of going, fear, no, no, I don't need you anymore to protect me and keep me safe. My connection to all spirit will take care of me, even though it might hurt my body a little bit, and it did,
mm.
it was a stretch, right? But I
Right.
knew that it was the embodied spirit that I was going for. And that's the power of horses is so incredible. And the power of that land there is so incredible. It's like I need to be there to bring all of that energy to the world through my consciousness and my connection. Yeah.
Mm. How do you see this being an example of the difference between chasing alignment and trying to get into alignment and to actually noticing that we already are and how you're creating with that?
Okay, great. If we're chasing alignment, looking for alignment, we really are imagining that we don't have the capacity inside ourselves to receive it and have a place that it will land in. And if we have a lot of emotion going on and fear and all of that, we won't have a place for it. We won't have a home base for it. So creating a home base, a sanctuary in our deeper heart, I call it the sacred heart, a sanctuary that says, I'm going to hold sacred and holy what I know, no
Mm,
matter what. And that's where, like I said, symbols and metaphors or creative imagination can come in that you can hold as something that represents that versus just, okay, I need to get realigned. Well, where is my alignment? And you're sort of looking for it. It's not an alignment. It's a going into that deeper place in ourselves that we have created over
mhm.
and over again because we all have. Yeah.
And we're being called to create with that alignment. Now I feel it's calling us into greater aspects of leadership.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you have to run for office or that you have to run big community groups or do something like this. But there is a component in leadership that's that knowing with integrity, that knowing with that heart fire really ignited.
Yes, I agree. Because it's not, people go, oh my God, we're in this political crisis. I'm like, no, it's a human rights battle, right?
Mm,
It's human rights. So I have a right to say what is mine to say, share what is mine to say. That's leadership. Asking for what I need is leadership. That's vulnerable leadership that says, right now, say if I'm on a horse and it's too much, it's like, right now I need to take a break. Is that okay? Versus, oh my God, I need to be strong and the leader and all of that. No, I ask for what I need and I also speak up. Those small things, right, are leadership coming from the heart of what is true for us, not weakness, but what is true, and being leaders in being all that we are. The other part of leadership is also expanding our capacity to create more of ourselves, right? We keep expanding and being more of ourselves. That's a bigger contribution as well. And, one of the exercises I've done with a variety of people is today, what quality of spirit do you want to expand into? What
mm,
quality of spirit or experience do you want to expand into? So it's not intention or manifesting. It's like, I want to expand into more of this quality. You just do it for a day. Otherwise, you've got this huge list of, I need to be more patient. I need to be stronger here. I need to have more boundaries here. Da, 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 da. It's like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. What I should be doing while I'm trying to handle being completely overwhelmed, right?
right.
Today, this is the quality I want to bring forward as my contribution.
So quality to bring forward. Again, an example would be holding a boundary. An example could be being more graceful, or give us some more examples to
Sure, sure. It's anything that you think of when you think of spirit being more joyful. What do you think of when you want to be more spiritual, right? It's
nice.
anything. More patient. And when we say abundant, well, what do you mean by I want to be more abundant, right?
Mm,
What do you really want to be filled with? Freedom? Do you want to be filled with trust? Today, I'm going to be more trusting of my heart. Today, I'm going to be more trusting of others, right? So we don't have to do harsh boundaries because that hurts the heart. When we're
yeah.
always going, okay, this is too much, everybody go away. Now, obviously, there are times, that we need to do that. It's just like, okay, it's me time. Fabulous. But if there's always this boundary up because everything out there is too much, we aren't holding much in ourselves. We're pretty wobbly. I mean, one of my specialties that I love to do is helping with over empathic natures because it becomes a handicap. And I talk to people that are like uber introverts because they're like, it's just too much. It's like, well, what do you have inside you that is so on fire or so creative going on for you that it doesn't matter what's going on in the world? It doesn't have such an impact, right?
Yeah, it's really powerful, and I love the way that you make it so actionable and
Mm.
so easy. It's a day by day. It's like we're trying to eat the whole elephant all at once, a lot with these energies, and really by bringing it in, like, again, that helps with the vibrational tone of keeping that alignment. We're aware, we're having a relationship with that instead of making it outside of us, which is so important.
Yeah, yeah.
Something beautiful that happens in the as we recognize that alignment within us, and as we're calling forward those qualities within us, and we're learning how stable we really are with them. And,
Mm,
but what happens also is that because we can hold that thread that much more steadily, our capacity to support other people becomes much more exponential.
yes, yes. And we do want to contribute. We do want to help other people.
Mm,
We wouldn't be here, right, if we didn't. But there's other ways to learn how to serve others without getting into people pleasing and just being alert when you realize that. So,
mm,
for instance, um, one of the things that we often do with people is, um, and I talked to a few people this morning, and they're all having the same thing. Well, I want to feel needed. That's not contribution. That's feeling needed. That's doing, giving because you have a need to feel valuable or needed. And that is not true heart flame. It's trying to fill you up, right?
Fear-based, yeah.
It's fear-based. So boundaries also, the heart hurts when we put up too many boundaries, right? We don't can't help other people if we're constantly going, go away, and then your heart hurts and then you go, oh, please come here, come closer, right? We don't have a sense of our own value. That's many of the things. And that sense of needing to, well, we want people to shine, especially people near, people that we love. We want them to shine. We want them to have their best life. We want them to be happy. And what are we doing? We're usually worrying and in fear. Oh, but I want the best for them. So all I know is to just worry about them all the time,
Mhm.
right? That's a way to put attention on them. Or even if we're wanting peace in the Middle East, we're like, how's it going over there? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. So one little example of what you can do, and we're going to talk more in the special offer about a bigger thing that you can do that's
Mm.
so exciting. One of the things you can do is have your guides, you don't have to know who they are, what their names are, if they're good or bad, they're all going to be great. Connect to the guides of those you want to assist. And you just say, hey, you guys, could you assist Joe Blow over here? He has a need right now that I've heard about, whatever that is. Could you work with his guides to help him?
Mm.
You're not involved. You're not sitting there going, oh my God, I wonder how he's doing. He's in the hospital right now. Could you guys just work with his guides and bring in more for him? Because that's where he's going to get most fed, right? By his spirit,
Mm.
his soul, his heart. And it's a fabulous way to get out of the loop of thinking we're being so much help to so many people because we're praying for them all day long, right?
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah,
Big one.
yeah,
How,
yeah.
how effective do you find this to be?
The people that I've worked with that do it are like, I feel freed up. I can
Mm.
just work with the larger realms and trust the larger realms, which opens up your intuition. And then you find that something has shifted with that person, and you are like, well, it shifted, and I didn't have to worry about them. I didn't have to feel, needed. I didn't have to feel valuable. I knew that spirit, my guides, my everything are on board to assist me so I can be free to be my happy, on fire self with
Mm.
creation and what I want to bring and know that all is well with them as also. Yeah. So yeah, people just love that. It's like, oh, that makes so much sense. I love it when people go,
Mm.
that makes so much sense. That's so much easier. It's going to give me hours back. Just like AI is going to give us hours back. This will give us hours back. Theoretically.
Well,
The AI.
it really keeps us in our lane of as far as activating that heart fire and pulsing it in the way that is unique for us. And so, again, in that alignment that we carry, we actually get to hold others, we get to witness others and demonstrate to them how they are already in their own alignment. They just have to be reminded sometimes. It's like it's just to illuminate what's possible for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And to remind them that they can call on their guides who are working for them 24/7.
Mm.
That they have a wealth and to trust that. And the more they feel the evidence of it, the more they will trust it. When I went to Iceland, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to walk across a log over a roaring river. I'm like, I can't do that. I don't have any balance. And I said, okay, you guys, you got to take care of me here. All right. This
Mm.
one's a big one for me, but I can do this because my heart was like, I'm going to be that heart fire of courage and confidence that it's not just my little body walking across there. So I did it. Obviously, I'm here. Then I
Mm,
had to come back over it, and only some of us were. And I'm like, oh my gosh. One person said, I'll come back that way with you. And she took care of me, right?
mm,
So I'm like, oh, I'm always taken care of. They made sure that someone was with me to do that a second time because I knew if I was doing it just on my own, it would have been very different, but I'm never on my own. Oh, yeah.
mm. Amazing.
So,
So, question
yeah.
for you in regards to helping others or being
Yes,
of assistance and guiding them, if you will, soul to soul, I guess it's like I want to hear more
yes.
about that. Can we assist anybody, or do they have to be open to it? Do they have to be aware of it? Or are some people just resistant and they're just like, no, their boundaries are maybe a little too harsh?
Hmm.
Or it's, how do we know that it is an honor or in reverence to them to serve in that way, or when it's not really for us?
Ah, that's a great question. If they are open in any way to who you are, what you stand for, and yeah, basically what you stand for. If they know you at some level, then they know you soul to soul, right?
Mm,
If you're trying to help somebody that is that you have no business trying to help, they're, let's say in the White House, and you're like, if only
right.
they could rise their vibration. It's like, stop, you know. Work with those you have soul connection with, and it's way more than you think. As long as you have a soul
Mm.
connection with them, you can help them. And it may be you don't tell them I'm doing this big woo-woo thing. You just say, I'm here for you. But you know the arc and what that means for them, right? I'm
So,
here for you. Hmm.
so you've got that, and I'd say that's your circle, your network, and we can call it our soul family, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
And you actually talk about stabilizing a soul force within a particular ecosystem, like what we call our family system.
Yes.
Talk more about that. What does it mean to stabilize a soul force?
Um, I love that phrase. I can't remember talking about it before, but I love it.
Ah, okay.
No, 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 it's good. It's good because I just have to tune into it, right? It's
Hmm.
a stabilizing a soul force, right? So
Right.
that force, we say the force is with us. Stabilizing that force is all that is there for us very deliberately in our soul family dynamics in the
Hmm.
universe, right? We have connections to universes that are stabilizing for us. And that's why I do guided journey meditations, is to take you to those places where you feel that stability, that's the stable force that is there for you. And you can bring it in and know it's a stable force. And it's not just, oh, the lightness of fluffiness of spirit and peace. It's a stable force, right? That is absolutely there for you. Yeah.
Hmm. I want to get into the special offer because you describe so much and what's available there, and we'll get more into your work. And I
Sure.
think it's going to answer a lot of questions, but also provoke some more questions. So as we get into the Q&A portion of the call, y'all, type your question into the chat box, raise your hand, and we'll get there in just a minute. But I wanted to go a little bit the other way than we normally do, y'all, um, because there's so much that you're sharing here, Susan. So everybody, it's click on the special offer button. It's going to be so educational and it's activating as well into what's possible. I want you all to be on that same page of us because what Susan's transmitting is really it's activating. So again, the link for the special offer, it's right underneath the video where you're watching the call from. The link's in the chat box. If you're on YouTube, you'll find the link in the comments section as well. And Susan, go ahead and take us through this, like this encyclopedia of wisdom that's on this special offer page as
Here it
well.
is. Okay, I am an encyclopedia of wisdom. I've been around for a while. I look, you and I, John, look really young, but we got wisdom pouring out of us because we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
We've been around the earth plane for a few lifetimes.
A few. A few.
Just a few. People say to me all the time, "Where do I know you from?" I'm like, "I'm not sure what lifetime, but I bet we have been."
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Mm,
So, one of the things I'm excited about is this whole new level of contribution. And in order to have a heart flame moving, your heart has to be uncluttered with its emotional baggage. We know that stuff, right? One of the biggest pieces I have found working with people is our biggest emotional trigger is our loved ones and the people closest to us because we love them. We want the best
mm,
for them. They're important to us. If they're our children, of course. If it's a spouse, of course. If it's, anybody that's close to us, we feel a soul connection with, and we know them as a soul, right? We know we have a soul connection with them. We want to activate that soul connection to bring the larger circle of influence in our life forward of contribution. Now, the biggest trigger, of course, is those closest to us, right? But we can work with that at a soul level. It's so exciting. So, what I do, have been doing for a while, and now I'm presenting it more, is an
mm,
Akashic record reading and clearing for your loved ones. I started with just for the children, and then I brought in grandchildren, and then I said a spouse, somebody you love, and then someone said, "Can I do it for my inner child?" I'm like, "Sure, why
mm.
not?"
Nice.
Why not? So, what you're doing is liberating your heart from the clutter of the unconscious stuff that says, well, again, like I said before, I feel needed when I'm taking care of them. I feel like it gives me something to put my focus of attention on, of contribution, to
Mm,
worry about them or take care of them. It's like, stop, stop. So, what we do, and do read this whole thing, because as I look at it again, I don't know where all these words came from. I wrote them all, but so um, they really describe it. But I want to give you the nuts and bolts. So as John was saying, how do you know whether you can work with somebody and help them in this way? If somebody's under 16, you have an I've actually raised that probably to 24. You have an umbilical connection with them. And we all know who have children, we have an umbilical connection the rest of our lives, good, bad, or ugly,
mhm. Sometimes
um,
all of it at once. Yes.
yeah. So you have that umbilical connection with them. If it's somebody you have a heart or soul connection with, you can work with them. So what you do is, if you have somebody that you want to do an Akashic record reading with me, they will be on the phone with me or Zoom with me, and I'll do it on your behalf because you're part of the arc. But for most people, it goes to surrogate, what I call surrogate. So I say if we're doing something for one of John's daughters, okay?
Mm,
John and I would be on the phone, and he would be a surrogate for his daughter. So we would bring John into the space he needs to be in, bring in his daughter, and be able to do a journey, a guided journey of reading and clearing and all of that with his daughter, to bring her to where her soul gifts are, without her having to be there, bring her to that place, or bring her to what it is she's most needing. If she's feeling like, I don't trust anybody, we're going to help bring her to the place where she inherently trusts people again.
mm,
Whatever it is, in your heart, they're missing. And it is so powerful. I've got a bunch of testimonials on there of people who've had amazing experiences with that. I think mostly surrogate, because those are the ones I wanted you to see. But
mm,
it is phenomenal how we can help another person. And you know how it helps you at the same time? Holy mackerel, as they say.
mm,
Um, you get to have a whole new relationship with that person, soul to soul, heart to heart, higher self to higher self, that you have probably lost track of because they're constantly, wanting you to talk them off a ledge. My daughter used to want me to talk her off the ledge all the time, right? I'm like, okay, here we go again, right? But you connect at this other level with them, and you have that resource in your heart of how you know and see that person from that moment forward. And you can hold that sacred instead of worrying, needing to
Mm,
be needed, being afraid for what, wanting their success. And of course you do, but they're not getting there. You get to feel what they're like there. They get to know that. And it is amazing how it changes them. It is
mm.
amazing how they become a whole new person and you have contributed. Yeah, in a big way. And you get the bonus of it too, right?
Well, yeah, and this is a 40-minute one-on-one session with
Oh
you.
yeah, the details. Yes. Uh-huh.
Um, and it's
Yes.
Mastery Akashic Soul Record. But what I really appreciate about this also is that once we get into rhythm of this, it's something that you can keep going. You'll learn and you'll have the recordings and you can keep going
Yeah,
back into that
absolutely.
collective field, which is amazing.
And you can go back into the field with that person and see and know them in that place and even expand on that with them for sure.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So,
Exciting.
so
Yes.
again, this is the session, but then you've also, Susan, because you're so
Uh-huh.
freaking generous, uh, there's a Thrive in the Season of Intense and Accelerated Change Workshop Intensive. What happened in these three sessions?
Okay. So much magic. That I did I'm scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. You can see I had a lot to say about the children thing. I call it the children thing. Sorry, the loved ones thing. They're all our children at one level. No.
Hmm.
Okay, thrive in the season of intense and accelerated change. What happened in that workshop was helping people to feel as though they're not underneath and overwhelmed and bombarded. Where do you get to the level of thriving, right? Where do you feel, again, this relates to your heart flame staying alive and your capacity to contribute creation, 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 right? This has been one of my themes for the year. And John may remember I talked about this the beginning of the year, being a warrior for creation. That's the antidote. Be a warrior for creation. What do I want to create right now? I'm in terror about something that I just heard about, or blah, blah, blah. What do I want to create right now to keep that mantra available, a sacred mantra? So that you can dance in the rain, right? Dance in
Yeah.
the storm and feel as though that is part of your contribution. And it also, with these sessions, starts to open up. Oh, I really am. I do have more gifts than I thought. I just get so concerned whether, I'm in survival and I don't have money or whatever. It's like, well, what are you creating? What
Mm.
do you get to? What is thriving in you? And it's not just gratitude. It's, the small things. I spoke to a woman this morning and she said, well, I don't know. I have a boring job. So I don't know what I want to create. And, I said, it's music, isn't it? Because I happen to have a beat on those things. And she goes,
Mm.
yeah, it is. I said, well, what are you doing about music? Oh, I don't want to take piano lessons. I'm not talking about piano lessons. Get
Mm.
music in your life. Start creating musically, right? Put your headphones on. Get the music in your heart going again. It's all essence, as we talked about earlier. So it's a way to empower you to navigate these fiery times with the fire in your heart that's bigger than the
Mm.
fire of the times of change. Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
So
So
that'll
again,
that'll help with that too, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, so there's three sessions here, y'all, and these are recorded MP3s, 90 minutes each. Dancing in the storm, feeling at ease in the unknown, establish divine safety as you anchor your own foundation, learning how to focus on what matters outside of the noise. That by itself is just
Yeah,
stop right there.
I
There's even
know.
more there. That's session one, y'all. Session two is boosting, accelerating, and stepping into your divine value and worth. And this is all listed on here, but I wanted to bring this into a resonant tone for you to receive because we're all experiencing this and these accelerations. And we're calibrating into even a new interpretation of what these mean.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Thank you, John. Well
it's
said.
potent. So again,
Yeah.
session two, y'all, of these MP3s again, and this already includes the live session with Susan going in and being the proxy, but really being a co-benefit benefactor of the sessions with someone that you're choosing to bring into this collective energy with Susan. So it's gonna be amazing. But session two, it's gaining higher levels of wisdom to release the deep patterns of resistance that we hold as humans. It's I don't care who's on
I
the call, we're
know.
all holding patterns of resistance. And
Yeah.
part of the difficult part of our expansion is the letting go of the tendrils. It's just this integration, which is natural. Whatever we've done, we have to undo, and then the undoing, the resistance exists. And
Yes, and can I add something to that?
of
You
course.
so well said. And how do you let go of those tendrils? Because you bring in a new growth in yourself. Not, I don't
Mm,
mean growth. The leaves of the tree in the fall away because new juice is coming in.
nice.
So in all of these, we help you bring in the new juice so the old tendrils just fall away. The old resistance falls away because you've got something coming in that you value more and hold sacred. And then you're not afraid anymore, right? Yeah.
And I love that
And
you
you feel
wrote
safe.
I love that you
Yeah.
wrote unfreezing the feeling of stuckness and
Yeah.
discouragement and to get motivated to create your fullest life. So I mean the
Yeah.
how many of y'all like feel I call it frozen? I like calling I feel like I'm stuck in the mud sometimes.
Hmm.
And so all this is just and y'all can read through the rest of this. Again, this is session two. There's so much more there. Session three, accelerating the higher wisdom of your path moving forward. So reuniting with the highest level of your light source for true unlimited resources of genuine power. And that's just the beginning. Read through these bullet points here because this is powerful and it's so in alignment with what we are ready to integrate in the alignment that we have and that just keeps expanding that pillar of light that you are and that's accessible to you now. So this is
Hmm.
wonderful. Y'all, this
Hmm.
special offer is $188. There's a two payment offer. You'll get the MP3s right away. You'll be able to schedule your one-on-one session with Susan. As people are booking their session, what do they need to come prepared with when they meet you on Zoom or on the phone?
I send out a little thing, a little whatever note that says I just need the name of the person that we're going to be working with, their name, birth date if you have it, and anything you want to say about what they're working with. And that reminds me also, you could say, well, what if this person isn't open to what I'm offering? Well, there's a million ways to say to somebody, even if it's your teenage child, you don't say, if they say, if you say, I want to do Reiki on you, they're like, oh, mom, right?
Mm,
But
right.
if you
Yeah.
say, I know that you're wanting to feel more comfortable socially at school, or I know you've been diagnosed with ADHD and you want to move beyond that. I love working with autistic and ADHD
Mhm.
people to get them into what their soul is here for, beyond these little diagnoses that are so small. Okay,
Mm.
that's one of my passions. But you're going to just say to them, I know you want to do better at school. Is that true? And they go, yeah, got it. You got it. That's your wavelength in. And we just start with that, how to help them do better at school, which is what does their soul want to bring them as to how to do that and be that person that they're wanting to be. Because it's really a person they're wanting to be, not just I want to get straight A's, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we've got that. Could we
Hmm.
also bring someone into a session that maybe there's like a disgruntled energy, it hasn't like stabilized? Is this part of something to bring more balance and compassion, understanding in the dynamic? Is that
Yes.
possible as well?
So I worked with somebody this morning. It's fascinating how it all works. And she has an adopted daughter. And she goes, well, I want to do this with her, but she's just not open. And I'm like, well, let's just do it,
Mm,
right? I'm not afraid of people's, resistance. It's a small part of them, right? It's just a small part of them.
nice.
So we had the session, and of course that person's soul opened up and the whole thing shifted. But even if they're a little disgruntled, seemingly, that's your judgment about them, right? That
Right.
that they're disgruntled or they're not ready for this or blah, blah, blah. And it's like they, if you discern, not out of fear, but you discern there's something more for this person that wants to open up, you got it. Remember, we got bigger beings helping out here. So
Mm.
listen to your heart.
So there's a few questions that, and I think these are great, and we'll get into the live questions and y'all that have raised your hands that are on video
Hello,
as well.
everybody.
Um, so one person's asking, Masharma's asking, can I be a surrogate for my 24-year-old niece who's suffering from cancer?
Oh gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Family
And
member, loved one, you name it.
great. And then we have Janine that's asking, how's this not crossing a boundary?
What I guess I need to know what she means by boundary. You
If
mean
you're going
free
into
choice?
if you're going into somebody
Ah.
else's field and affecting them, I'm assuming.
Got it. You have gotten permission from them in a certain way. Thank you for that. I get it now, Janine, because I always talk about no, you can't shift somebody unless you have permission. You're getting permission as that person. Say it's Janine, it's your nephew, okay? You're going to say to that nephew, I want to help you get better grades at school. Do you want some help with that?
Mm,
That's all. And they say yes, and you've already got that heart and soul connection with them, or you wouldn't have wanted to do that. Okay, we don't step over, we're going to just, mess with their subconscious mind. We're opening up their gifts. We're not, when I say clearing, we're not like getting in there and digging in and shifting anything. We're opening things up, and the old patterns fall away. And that's their soul doing that.
right. And
Great question.
the permission doesn't have to happen that physically. You don't have to call them on the phone and say, hey, I'm doing a session. We're doing this.
No. Mm-mm. You don't. That's why I waited to do this with you till I'd had plenty of proof and, nobody going, oh my God, that the person committed suicide or something like that. I
Right.
made that up. I'm so sorry. That was pretty dramatic, but anyway.
I
To
get the
make a
message and the
point.
drama
I do
though.
that sometimes to make a point. I get dramatic. Sorry.
Yeah. I know that I typically, if someone isn't open, I can't access their field.
Right.
I
Right.
just can't. I've had people who asked me to read them where they really weren't open because they didn't think that I'd be able to read them, but because they gave me the permission,
Yeah.
I still read them, and then they got mad that I could read them.
Right. Right.
And that's a different story. They were like
Yeah.
testing it out, and the reason they got mad is because they thought they had like this impenetrable lock and key and fortress set up, and it's like, but then you go right in, it's like, but that was so easy, and it
Yeah.
totally destroys the illusion of whatever protection that
Right.
they felt that they had put up with such resilience. So it's
And
an
they may,
interesting field,
it's so interesting. If they complain, that's just a part of them complaining. That's
right?
just a part of them that's afraid that something might change in their life. And you just
Yeah,
go, I understand you could feel that way. I get it. I get it. Just
yeah,
watch and see how this goes, what I've said, how it rolls out, and get back to me and let me know. But yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And the beautiful part is that thank goodness for me that the intention is always with benevolence. And with Susan
Yes.
as well, it's always for the higher outcome, not to manipulate an
Mm-mm.
outcome based on your preference or an expectation of how someone should be or what someone should be for you. If we enter that way,
Exactly.
the field shuts down so quickly.
Exactly. And that's why you and I talked about that earlier, that feeling of needing to be needed, valuable, secondary gain. I just want them to love me. Somebody said the other day to me, well, I want them to trust me. I said, why? Why do you need them to trust you? That's on you, right? We're not doing this so they trust you. We're opening something for them, and you will probably trust their soul more and let go of needing to be trusted by them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm going to get to live Q&A. We're going to get into a process in a little bit as well, but I want to finish this follow-up from Marshma. So my niece, will you be able to clear her as well? And that's the intention of it. Yes.
yes. Now we're talking soul level. Can I get rid of her cancer? No, right? Of course, I would love to say I could get rid of cancer.
Right.
I don't know all the components. She probably doesn't know all the components of why she has cancer.
Right.
Can we help her to release some of the patterns that have created it at a very deep level, at the soul level? Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go
Great.
now through some of our live callers. Maury, let's go to you first. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for holding space. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Um, you were talking about when you were talking about soul family, and John, you mentioned something that like they were brought into our lives to show us what we needed to release, and sometimes we get resistance from that. And as you
Mm,
were speaking about that, I actually was writing down the question for Susan was about soul family because it usually shows up. Our soul family usually shows up to teach us the lessons from the old paradigm, what it is, what codes we need to heal and transmute and alchemize. But I know there's an ending to it. I've been doing this for years, and it's like my ego, my I'm sick of it. Is there a way that we can call forth soul family that helps bring joy into our
Yes.
lives without having to trudge through the mud and say, okay, what is it you're here to teach me? And how do I heal it so I can just get on with my life with joy? Because you talked about our heart space closing, and it's like we're meant to open that. And so all these people that are being brought into my life is like teaching me this, and it's like it's doing the opposite, and I don't want that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, great question. I love it. I actually don't believe and I'm not yeah, I don't believe that everybody came in to trigger us, basically is what you're saying, right? That the closest people to us came to trigger us and make sure we, grow up. That's not really what our soul family comes in to co-create with us. Now, you have a particular soul wound in yourself that says, I don't get to have that kind of soul family. All I have are people I can help or that trigger me and all of that. That's your soul wound that I would love to help you shift so that you can start to draw in your true soul family that knows you as joyful Maury, knows who you are, lives at that soul level with you, right? That's what I bring people to instead of finding the people that will again help you grow. I don't believe that we have intimate relationship just as a mirror for our stuff, right? That's boring. That's horrible. And I don't think John does either. I can say that, that yes, part of that will happen. Absolutely. Our children will trigger us, but they, primarily we want to feel like we have relationships of soul and heart connection that enhance who we are. But we have to shift something in our soul that says that's not possible here for some people. And you're naming that for yourself. Yeah.
So when
Happy to
when
help you
people were
with that.
talking about having these meetings for other people, we can do that for ourselves. Like,
We'll call it for your inner child. Yeah.
oh, all right, that
Amazing.
Your best soul buddy. How's that?
well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we'll do that for sure. Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
I really loved how I felt you asking your question and your comment in the beginning from this place of knowing that's up here and maybe
Mm.
and maybe even validate those thoughts, validate through other people's that speak it with a lot of authority as well. But after Susan spoke and you responded, that's the way it should be. I felt you speaking from the authority of your heart, and it
Oh,
was yours, not other people's. And so my wish is that you keep landing in the authority of your heart for you, Maury. Yes.
woo, that was woo hoo hoo. That was
Mhm.
hot, everybody. Listen to the replay for that.
Mhm. It's true. We could feel it, and it's really wonderful because as we're landing more in this alignment, it just becomes that much more clearer when that
Mhm.
alignment's there. It's like there it is.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. More of
Mm-hmm.
that, please, because it ignites all of us in return.
Yeah.
It's a circuitry that
Yeah.
becomes active rather than a broken circuit that becomes discordant and we don't know what to do with it, right? So it's beautiful. Maury, thank you for demonstrating that for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all right,
Beautiful.
let's continue. Lynn, let's go to you. Welcome to the call.
I think she's coming in.
I think she's coming in also. We'll see. She's coming
There
in
it
on the
is.
side.
I got
Yeah,
it.
I know. I like that. She's coming in on the side.
Hi,
I'm
Lynn.
sitting here thinking, and I just did want to mention because what you were talking about going to Iceland, and I'm sitting for months trying to decide if I can go to this workshop in India in November because my health isn't great and it scares me. Just like you were talking about your various, the voices that tell you you can't do it, and then what you said about knowing that it would be life changing. This is an astrology workshop, Rick Levine. I don't know if you are familiar, but anyway, because I really, really, really want to go, but it's so scary. Meanwhile, that's an
go.
aside. Moving on, what I really
Okay.
I'm also sitting here thinking about the people in my life and wondering how many, can you do more than one in a session or
No,
how,
I wish I could, but that wouldn't be fair to the person. So yeah, we have to do a few. I mean, one at a time. Yeah.
okay, and so
I
there's
know, I know. Unless you
come
had
up.
fraternal twins. No, it's the other one. Identical twins. Yes, we could do that maybe. No, we
Hmm.
can't.
Oh,
They're two
really
different
interesting.
souls.
And then the other
Mhm.
question would be, gosh, it just escaped my mind. Um, I better write it in the chat. I don't know what it was.
Or
Okay.
write it in and we'll find it. Thank you, Lynn. And
Thank you.
Have fun at Rick's
Thank you
place.
both.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. Andrea, welcome to the call. Andrea. Is it Andrea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Um, I just wanted to get or I guess expand on the reading or the clearing for your children. I have a 23-year-old son who was a 2020 COVID graduate, or didn't really get to have graduation, missed his senior year, then went to college, and for 2 years didn't have a lot of in-person classes, and just a lot of that has been a bit of a stumbling block. And I feel like he's just never really been able to get out of that, been sort of stuck.
Mhm.
And his younger brother, um, kind of went through it easier. And so I was just thinking, wow, maybe this would be um, a good thing for me to do for him. He's not, he wouldn't be open necessarily to a reading,
Sure. Directly. Yeah.
Hmm.
sort of
No, I
resist.
think it's great because that response to COVID was not just in that moment. Like
Yeah.
you said, his brother, it was different. He has a soul, something going on in his soul that didn't allow him, or just, yeah, a challenge in his soul that we want to release so he can be free
Oh,
to be yeah, more of himself. And
yeah. I
yeah,
just feel like there's he gets stuck in it, and no matter um, the positive things, or that I try to remind him of. It's like he just
yeah,
gotten kind of stuck, and
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's hard as a parent.
I get it. I know. It is. It's hard for so many people. Yep, and it hurts our hearts. So yeah, I'd love to help you and him with that for sure.
And
Yeah.
would it, how would that work? It clears some of that, I guess. I don't know the language, but clears the stuckness, I guess.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
stuckness, the soul challenge that creates that stuckness, frozen resistance. It says, I
Okay,
can't go forward because of A, B, C, and D.
right.
Unconscious, consciously he thinks it's because of COVID, but it's something deeper. Yeah.
Well, also the current political environment. It's like his
Yeah.
his age
Yeah.
just feels like lack of hope, lack of,
Yeah.
just feels like they're not going to have
Yeah.
cities
A
like,
life. Yeah.
yeah,
So all of those are valid, understandable feelings he has, but he doesn't have to hold them as an
right,
anchor. So absolutely happy to help anyone who's feeling that hopeless
yeah,
sense of, how could we possibly get out of this mess, etc.
And,
Yeah.
right.
mhm.
The soul knows. The soul
Mm.
knows
Yep.
how to help him. Yeah. Yeah.
So after that, he would, even with me not necessarily telling him I'm doing this, I would probably see maybe a lightness or a relief from that, or
We'll find out. It could be way more.
okay,
Yeah. Great. Thank you,
Mm.
Andrea. Yeah, you'll definitely feel a shift and know a shift for both of you.
okay,
A relief.
yeah,
Mm.
yes,
I knew quite a few years back I was going through a challenging time with someone in my family, and they just, they were still claiming the same things that they were claiming when we were children, when we were
Mm.
50 years old. And so, but I recognized the cycle and I knew it, and I tried to hold as best I could. Well, not, I definitely held as best I could, a meeting at a higher place rather than circulating in those energies because that didn't serve anyone. Certainly didn't serve me.
right,
And I knew it wasn't serving them, but I couldn't force them to be it. But I started going into a practice of really communicating soul to soul and holding the invitation,
Mm.
the doorway up here. It's like, it's right here. It's available anytime. You're always invited. I'm going to talk to you from here. And I'd have whatever conversation that felt aligned and loving at the time, whether I felt he was receptive or not.
hmm,
Yeah.
But things began to shift. It's like there was different conversations that were taking place. Going down to that place wasn't even an option for me. And that person soon became aware that it really wasn't an option in the dynamic period because I was no longer willing to play in that field. And that just became obvious by the steadiness of the vibrational tone that I was holding. Again, I wasn't wobbling in my anchoring. I
hmm,
wasn't trying to align. I was aligned,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Which is the basis of the beginning of the conversation. And so when we do that and we keep that pillar of alignment so strong, it serves others. And it's what I'm getting from this also, Susan, that it also allows us to do, if you will, a little shamanically, if you want to call it that, some soul recovery work, which is
Mm-hmm.
part of where an action taking ability was lost
Mm-hmm.
for some traumatic event or limiting belief or something that purged that light quotient out of someone because it wasn't safe, it wasn't resonant in coherence with the light that they truly are.
That's
So
right.
it's kind of hanging out here until the rest of the body comes up, and then it has an opportunity to integrate again.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're creating a field of magnetism to allow that soul aspect to come back into wholeness within itself. And that's part of the dynamics that I see that are happening, or the mechanisms of this type of work. It's profound and it's beautiful, and you may not see the effects right away. You might. You, I feel that our hearts open up and we start feeling it, but man, within a few days or a few weeks, or even within, it's like, whoa, something shifted in a big way. And it's us being able to stabilize that field it's more powerful than you might even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even begin to imagine, actually.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Yeah, well said. I do find that people write me right away and say, wow, that was dramatic how it shifted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I see their behavior change. Yeah, and
Mm,
these are, teenagers and stuff like that, or, a grandchild's easier, obviously they're going to move, but yeah, it's amazing.
mm.
Mm.
Yeah. It's so
Or
much
my
to consider.
sister who always hated me or whatever it was. Yeah, it really, it's amazing. Yeah.
Mm,
And this is part of, we talk about the galactic contribution and the universe, and more energy is coming in all the time. It's trying to help us to co-create more oneness, more out of just sovereign alignment to let's start creating humanity and letting our hearts be filled with this love again for humanity, knowing another piece of oneness, at least with this person, which has a ripple effect to all of humanity, you know, just getting into more co-creation and soul to soul, heart to heart connection. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
Mhm.
All right, let's continue. First, I have to read this from Marianne, and we're going to get into the process here in a little bit also. Okay, start if you can be in a place where you can relax, receive, tune in. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Marianne wrote in, I'm a student of Susan, had a session with her this morning. She's a special mentor in my spiritual journey. She always provided me with guidance that I needed at the time when we come together. So beautiful testimonial from Marianne that came in. There's so many on the sales page, yeah. Um, and I want to go ahead and Marjorie, let's take your question. Welcome to the call.
Hi. Hi, John and Suzanne. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hi, Marjorie. Don't matter.
As I was listening to this, and when I first came in, I didn't think that it was relevant to me, because I don't have any kids.
Mm,
But my best friend is just going through so much right now with her son.
mm,
Oh.
And he's living there with her, with his two children and his wife, and another child is on the way. And just we've been close for a while, and the choices that he's made, and how she's been supporting him by his side through all of it, and the things that he says to her to make her feel guilty, about his choices, you know and why don't you, his father has passed, so there's some of that in there. um um Saying that she just can't understand him because she's a woman, you know. And for example, why didn't you teach me about managing my credit better?
Mm.
Things like that, because there was something you mentioned in the beginning, um, when you talked about talking your daughter off the ledge. That's what she's trying to do with him,
Right.
because he'll say to her, I just want to shoot myself.
Well,
It's just like,
yeah, my daughter was not trying to shoot herself. I will say that for her sake. But yeah, she gets him in on an emotional ledge. Yes, but we can, he's crying out for help. We know that. Okay. So absolutely. I don't know how much your friend would be open to this, but it may be having you and your friend together helping him.
mhm,
See how
yeah,
that would feel to you, because there needs to be a little bit more direct connection to him.
mhm,
Okay,
mm,
for that kind of um, shift to happen, right? But you
mhm,
could also ask her, can I do this on your behalf and his behalf? But have her listen to the recording so she gets
okay,
what her part needs to be too,
okay.
right?
Or
So
she
she's
or she can
no,
even support her friend in the session.
yeah.
So
Either the friend could have the session. I would say maybe you and the friend together in the session. That's what you mean, John, right?
I'm saying Marjorie can just show up and be a pillar for her friend,
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
journey that her friend is going through soul to
Yeah,
soul.
exactly. Yep, for sure. Yep. To help your friend know how to handle what's going on with her son.
yeah,
Because if she knows how to handle it better, then he'll be better off because he's crying out for help and she's not sure how to do it, how to
Mhm.
give him what
yeah,
he needs. Yep. So we can
yeah,
tune into what he needs and how to help her give him what he needs.
mhm,
There's different ways of holding it. Marjorie, I can offer, and you've probably heard this, but I just want to remind you because it's always great to remind ourselves of what works. 5 minutes at the end of the night, just go into just quiet space and see both your friend and her son just in their highest. See them in their glory and their majesty and hold them there for a few minutes. Even for be in meditation for a few minutes, but hold them in that glory for just 30 seconds.
Mhm.
It doesn't even take that. But holding the steady field of the awakened potential that is already in existence. And by you being a stable field for that is extremely beneficial for support. And of course, if you can have a session with Susan and go deeper into it, it's going to be wonderful. But you don't have to feel disempowered, none of us. And our desire to want to hold the torch of light and love for others, really see again others in such an elevated state and celebrate them there. Celebrate them there.
Because I'm
You
just like, what can I do for her? Like, all I can do right now is listen. You know,
Yeah, that's why we want to help you to be able to to be able to contribute more than just listening, because that's going to be exhausting for you. Like
yeah.
John was saying, holding them in their highest is going to be more fulfilling for you than just listening endlessly to her drama,
Well,
right?
and you'll invite her up to a different level
Yeah,
of conversation with you.
good point.
The quality of her reaching out for help will feel more empowering to you, and it'll actually feed you rather than drain you
Hmm.
because it feels like you're getting into the whirlwind of her energy, and it sounds severe. How could you not? But again, you as her best friend,
yeah.
you be the pillar of possibility rather than anchoring in a fear.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Excellent, excellent. Yeah,
There's also guilt there. She feels guilty. She feels it's her
yeah.
fault,
She's gonna
you
feel it
know.
all. Let's help her. Let's help
Yeah.
her. She represents a lot of people for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
struggling with these
So get
kinds
it.
of things. Thank
Bless.
you.
So are you saying to gift her this session? Is that what you're
If she's open to it, or
recommending?
it could be the two
Okay.
of you together
Okay.
in the session. So you know how to help her and help her son. Yeah, all of you together.
So Marjorie and her friend would show up to a Zoom call with you.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
thank you.
Anything's possible. Why not? Yeah. Hmm.
Marjorie, blessings to you, to your
Yeah.
Thank you.
friend and her son.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you
holding
so
you
much.
in that
Yeah.
space.
Thank you so much. Because
Yes.
I love her so much, and I just it hurts my heart to
I
just,
know.
you
I
know,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
your love is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's pure. It's pure.
Y'all, the link for the special offer again, it's in the chat box. It's underneath the video. Um, I hope y'all take advantage of that. And again, if you're on YouTube, it's in the chat box as well in the comment section. Um, so there you go. So again, 40 minutes, go into session. You have the 3 MP3s that are just potent of what's on there. Great value for what's there. So much generosity and assistance and recognition as well. Um, and Susan, I think it's time that we should go into
Okay. We can accept, I keep staring at Deborah.
well,
I
let's
don't know
get
why,
started.
but I
Okay.
keep staring at Deborah. I know she'll get right to the point, right?
She'll get right to the point.
That'd
There
be
you
great.
go.
And then we can do it for sure.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of
And thank you, Susann.
course.
Wow. Yeah. To the point. I think I feel like I've sort of had my sort of answered. It's my adult children. They're 40 to 47. I came into knowing very deep trauma that was repressed mostly 20 years ago. And they all, and it's quite heavy. They don't want to know about it, and because they can't hold it, and that's I understand that. But they all are. They love me, but they want me that far away.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if I could initially, if I could do that, but I realized if I was doing it for one of them, I'd have to pick one of them. And the other question is, maybe this is just an inner child thing. if I change
Your
more.
inner child? No, it's for them. No,
Okay.
no, because you have a lot of old trauma that you're feeling guilty about that, they're having to be part of. So if possible, you could do both. Let's do one and see how it goes. And maybe the second child will just come zooming in. You never know. All right. Yeah, yeah. But it's a beautiful way I have found to release and bring forth without them having to know the whole story, to rewrite their Akashic records, to rewrite their story, right? Yeah, and there's a lot of adult children that are struggling at this moment in time, and we can just rewrite the story.
And I do know that I've read about even how it can affect grandchildren, they're
Sure. So we don't want it to keep rolling along.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Good.
okay. Thank you.
Good. You're so
All
welcome,
right.
Deborah.
Good to see you, Deborah. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, John.
Of course. All right, I'm turning it over to you.
Drum rolls. Okay,
Drum rolls.
everybody.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to do my favorite thing, which is a guided meditation. I do them with people all day, every day. No, not quite, but I obviously love doing them. Okay, so what we're doing now, we talked about heart flame, and we talked about moving into greater co-creative contribution. And remember, we talked about you finding new levels of expansion of creation for yourself, right? And as you expand in creation, then you impact, as John so beautifully said, you impact those around you, don't we? When you're in alignment, and I just talk about it as expanded creative juice in your heart and body, when you're more in that place, in an embodied sense, it ripples out to everybody you're connected to, whether they are your closest relative or the president of Ukraine. I have a soul connection with the president of Ukraine. Okay, I just do, right? So I know every time I do something in myself out of love, he gets the blessing of that. How great is that? So we can impact the world while we're doing our deeper heart discovery. Okay? Good. All right. So just take a breath for a moment. A breath of gratitude. A breath of gratitude for the miracle of creation that you are a part of in this moment and always. And feel that gratitude for being part of the miracle of creation as a ball of light. A ball of light, and you bring it into what I call your sacred heart, that space behind your physical heart that would love to hold your light. And then let that light expand into your physical heart and then into your whole body. You are that light of gratitude for the miracle of creation, for you are creating light in this moment. Now specifically bring that light into your spine. Ooh, lighting up that spine of yours. And as you do, let that light move up into your shoulder blades. And then we're going to use creative imagination to imagine that coming out of your shoulder blades are wings, shimmering, light-filled, beautiful wings. And as they start unfolding, they become mighty wings. No fairy wings here. These are mighty wings of your soul and universal nature, coming out easily and naturally, symbolizing birthing a whole new dimension of you. Notice the wings, the color, the size, the texture, the sensation, however you wish to. And then you're going to allow those wings to lift you. Let those wings lift you out into the universe, out into the creative quantum field, whatever you want to call it, lifting you higher into that beautiful, expansive space of what I call the field of all creation. Let yourself fly, unfurl, dance, whatever it is, move freely in that space to whatever degree you can. And now, when you're in that beautiful space, flying around, free, liberated, abundant you, put attention on what you would like to create. Remember, we talked about a quality of spirit you would like to create. What would be a quality of spirit or experience you'd like to create? More chocolate, doesn't matter, you decide. We're opening you to new dimensions of your creative self. Soaring above the earth. Enjoying the natural nature of you and that expanded sense of self. As you're opening to new dimensions of yourself, you're also opening to new dimensions of yourself in the world. But just enjoy this free moment or two. You can always come back and do this again. Make it longer, stronger, deeper. Take another deep breath. Know that lots is falling away that doesn't fit as you fly and liberate yourself and feel more free and abundant. All that doesn't fit just falls away. As you feel this new energy moving through you, you're going to bring that universal self. You're going to start to bring you flying with those wings down into your heart space. That image, that sensation, that impression, breathing it down. There you are. Feeling those energies, that creative flow, whatever was given to you as a gift of spirit. Feel yourself landing it into your sacred heart and then becoming, right? That freedom in your heart, full and free with your wings on. And as you bring this new sense of self in, feel how it strengthens your heart to be more confident. To be more confident, to be more of you, to hold a stronger heart space, to be that anchor, so that when you feel fear or worry about something or someone outside yourself, you can always come back to this heart confidence. You can see it as a flame, or you can just have those wings there, which will allow that space to feel stronger. You are being lifted by the wings of your confidence. And as you hold this, you start to emerge. And if you take just 30 seconds a day to hold this energy of unfurling your wings, going out into the universe, feeling who you are in that expanded field of creation, and then bringing that back to hold in your heart with your wings still on, you will feel the rebirth every day, the greater aliveness, the greater sense of co-creation with spirit, liberation of your spirit, and greater sense of contribution, moving towards what you want to create more of. Attracting more soul family, heart family to create with. So you can be on fire with the creative juice of the universe of you. Take a few deep breaths. Feel what it's like to be this new you, expanded, more confident, more creative. Feel it all the way to your toes. Beneath your feet even. This is the earth plane you create with now and from this moment forward. And so it is. And so it is the new you. On fire and flying free. And it's okay if your wings are bigger than the room you're in. It's okay.
They probably are.
Yep.
They probably are. Susan, that was so on point today. Thank you so much.
Yes.
When you guide these, what do you feel?
I feel what they're feeling, not emotionally, but I do the guided journey energetically.
Mm,
And so that's why I said something about the wings, because mine were like going in every direction
yeah.
and all those feelings. So I get to experience it with you, to open the field for you to feel that as well. And
Yeah.
you'll all have your own unique experience with it. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I love the sense of centeredness, the sense of peace, that still space.
Yes.
Creation is just so wonderful.
Yes. Yes. Still and
Susan,
on fire at the same time. How does it do that? It just
right?
does.
It just does.
It just,
It knows what to do.
yep. Yep.
It knows what to do. This has been wonderful today, Susan. Y'all,
Mm.
the special offer, Susan, the link's in the chat box again. You know where to find it underneath the videos and in the marketplace on Beyond the Ordinary Show. Um, take advantage of that opportunity to work with Susan in this capacity. So powerful. Again, Susan, wonderful call. As always, thank you for your
Oh,
presence and your heart and your generosity. You're such a gift.
absolutely. Absolutely. Love to be with you and your community, John. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for all you provide and how you
Absolutely.
liberate everybody's hearts. Ooh,
Yes, let's do that for each other, please.
yes, we do.
Uh,
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
Susan. Thank you,
Yes.
everybody, for being on the call. Sending you all blessings, my love, and I look forward to seeing you on our next call.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.